So for my film review, I decided to choose Dirty Dancing as a movie I wanted to review. I chose to do this movie because I've grown up watching it. My mom loves the movie, so I've seen it a lot of times. I'm familiar with it. But the film was filmed in 1987 and it was directed by Emil Ardolino. He is not really famous for directing any other movies. There's a couple other movies, but none that were as popular as Dirty Dancing. Um, the movie was filmed in Lake Lure, North Carolina, but it takes place in upstate New York at Kellerman's Mountain House, and that's like a sort of like a big like mountain resort, like hotel type thing that a lot of people go to vacation for their summers. The movie it's set in 1963, the summer of 1963, and at this time, America was not yet in the Vietnam War. Um, Kennedy was still president, and a lot of young people and just everyone in general were focused on helping out people. So the movie starts out with Baby, who's one of the main characters. She's played by Jennifer Grey, who surprisingly was 27, playing a 17-year-old role. She was she played the role of Baby, who was about to, this was her last summer before she went off. She wanted to go to the Peace Corps and help out the world. So the movie starts off with Baby, who's the main character. She and her family are at the resort in upstate New York, and they are there on vacation. It's like a giant clubhouse. A bunch of families come there, but Baby, she can't seem to be like no one her age interests her as much as she would like. She's very bored, and so she's trying to find stuff to do. And one night she ends up at the dormitories of the employees, and they're having this big party. And it's like she, as soon as she walks in, she witnessed like literally Dirty Dancing. She's never seen anything before like that type of dancing, except for probably on movies. And she's like immediately like intrigued by Johnny Castle, who's played by Patrick Swayze, who was also like way too old for his role. I'm not sure how old Johnny was in the movie, but I know when Patrick Swayze was casted for the role, he was 34 years old, and that's way older than he was in the movie. But anyway, so she meets Johnny. She doesn't directly meet him, but she sees him dancing with Penny, who is his dance partner, and she assumes that they're together just by the way that they're dating or dancing. So she assumes that they're dating. But then his cousin Billy, who she had walked in there with, told him that they weren't. And so she continues to watch for a little bit, and then she ends up dancing with Johnny. He asks her to dance, and he shows her some moves and all this other stuff. And then if you fast forward a little bit, then you end up at the situation that's probably the worst part of the movie that I think I hate it. It's not the worst part directed or in the sense of like their acting. I just think that it's a little bizarre because Penny, she is pregnant by an Ivy League student that's also there at the resort, and she's trying to get enough money for an abortion because there's a doctor coming into town that can only do it on a specific date. But she's having the issue of she can't find the money to pay for the abortion, and also she has a big dance that day. So Baby comes to the rescue. She asks her dad for money, which he gives it to her. He doesn't ask her for what, but he gives it to her. And then besides that, she volunteers to learn all of Penny's dance moves to fill in the spot that she would originally have. And she ends up falling head over heels for Johnny. So once her dad finds out about all this, he's not very pleased. He doesn't like the fact that she's hanging out with Johnny. He thinks that she's too good for him. And this is, I don't know, like she gets upset because her dad always taught her not to judge anybody, but she realized that he meant not to judge anybody like them of the upper class and stuff like that. But so Penny ends up getting the abortion, and baby's dad has to come help because obviously, like, a doctor that's going to stop and visit to give an abortion isn't probably cleared to do any real medical work if he's willing to do it in the dormitory of a hotel. So that happened, and the whole reason I don't like this scene is because I just think it's awful. Like, I mean, I guess every movie has to have a part that works your emotions or something to keep you like super intrigued, but I just think that I think the movie is very good at being timeless, except for this part right here, because I know now, like, you would probably never find someone that would just show up at your, like, where you were and not be at a medical facility to give an abortion. And so after all that happens, the movie basically, like, Johnny and Baby end up falling in love and finishing their dance, and her mom sort of at the very end sort of comes around to it, but her dad just never really does. But I think this movie does a good job at, like I said, being timeless. Like, I feel like I could watch this movie at any time and still feel like I could be there right now, that I could show up to the resort and it'd just be like the same time around here, except for like advances in technology, sort of. But they do a pretty good job at making it all feel like that. But also another thing I love about the movie that I think everyone really does is the soundtrack, because all the songs they dance to are memorable. Like, as soon as you hear Time of My Life, you know that it's from Dirty Dancing. You know exactly what scene it is. It doesn't matter if you've fully seen the movie or not. You know what it is. And I think they did a good job at picking the right kind of music that'd be iconic and that'd make it memorable. Overall, I think this movie was really good. I would recommend it to anybody.